Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series on Savitri with our beloved Ranga. I must say, since today is my birthday, that this is a great honor for me to be able to do Savitri with Ranga on my birthday. We're on page 37, Canto 3, The Yoga of the Soul's Release, in which we learn about Ashrapati, actually a pseudonym for Sri Aurobindo, and his progress in the yoga.
That's all. So Srimad is describing these experiences in the spiritual world. And he is giving many, many experiences that he has had. So we'll just read. And his poetry is, as I said, you can approach Savitri in several ways. One is to read it without even trying to understand, because it has a mantric power. So that's one way.
If you read it out loud.
Yes, you read it out loud and keep your mind as silent as possible and read it. That's one way. That's fine. That's what Mother also suggests. But there's another way to appreciate the poetry and the language and the images that he is showing. That's the approach that we have taken here. Because the reading anyone can do, you don't need any help.
On their own.
Yeah, you can do it on your own. But this one we are looking at the language, his technique of poetry, the way he builds his images, that's what we are doing. And also the meaning. What is the experience that he is talking about? So, we are on page won't tally always with everybody, but as Narad said, Canto 3, Yoga of the Soul's Release of Ashwapati. God found in nature, nature fulfilled in God. Okay, so God found in nature, you don't always find God in nature, but if you are lucky enough, that's the theism, what is called theism. You see God in nature and you come to the conclusion that that itself is God. That's a theistic philosophy. So,
is it pantheistic also? Pantheistic?
Pantheism, that's the word.
Yes.
Pantheism is the word.
I have a little story about a gentleman, a black man, in, I believe it was Alabama. His name was George Washington Carver. And they asked him, he knew every plant, every insect. And they asked him, how do you know all this? He said, everything will give up its secrets if you love it enough.
That's right.
Beautiful. So we begin?
Yeah. So read the whole page and then God found in nature, nature fulfilled in God.
Already in him was seen that task of power. Life made its home on the high tops of self. His soul, mind, heart became a single sun. Only life's lower reaches remained dim. But there too, in the uncertain shadow of life, there was a labor and a fiery breath. The ambiguous cowled celestial puissance worked, watched by the inner witness's moveless peace. Even on the struggling nature left below, strong periods of illumination came. Lightnings of glory after glory burned. Experience was a tale of blaze and fire. Air rippled round the argosies of the gods. Strange riches sailed to him from the unseen. Splendors of insight filled the blank of thought. Knowledge spoke to the inconscient stillnesses. Rivers poured down of bliss and luminous force. Visits of beauty, storm sweeps of delight, rained from the all-powerful mystery above. Thence stooped the eagles of omniscience. And I think we have a lot to cover here.
Yeah. So, beautiful. So, the meaning is very clear what he is just describing, how he had the experiences. So, already in him was seen the task of power. Okay. The work that he has to do. Okay. Life made its home on the high tops of self. So, he is now settled on the high tops of self. Life from below came up.
But could you explain a little that task of power?
I'm not sure of that, but I think what it would mean, already in him was seen the task of power. Probably the task that he has to fulfill in the physical world.
Yeah.
And
Which
he has
is to
do
bring
it
down
with,
something new.
Yeah. And he has to do it with power. So,
Exactly. And
yeah.
therefore power is capitalized.
Yes, that's right. The task that he has to fulfill in the world. Okay. Life made its home on the high tops of self. In other words, life from below climbed up to at that level. His soul, mind, heart became a single sun. So, what he means here is that normally mind, heart and life, they are all normally not in harmony at all. They are always
Very mixed.
They are loggerheads. Our mind doesn't agree with the vital doesn't agree with the body. But here it has become a single cell, single sun.
Single
So
sun,
not
yes.
only it is illuminated, but it's single. In other words, perfect harmony between all of them. Probably that's what he means. Okay. His soul, mind, heart became a single sun. Only life's lower reaches remained dim. So he has included heart here. Heart is the higher vital. But the life's lower reaches are the lower vital.
The body and the body.
And the body. The body not so much, but the body is he would mention body. But life's lower reaches is the lower vital.
Yes. Yes.
The lower vital.
Mm-hmm.
There too, okay, only life's lower reaches remained dim. The light has not penetrated yet below that point. Okay, so, but there too, in the uncertain shadow of life, there was a labor and a fiery breath. So even in the life's lower reaches also, the attempt is going on. There is a labor and a fiery breath. The sun may not have reached, but there is a fiery breath. The work is going on there.
Yes, the labor.
Yeah. Reminds you of God's labor. The poem God's labor.
Yes.
He is digging deep and long. Okay. The ambiguous, cowled, celestial puissance worked. Okay. So.
One of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
Oh.
The ambiguous, cowled, celestial puissance. The celestial puissance, God's power, is working here, but when it works here, it is ambiguous and also it is cowled.
Cowled.
And the cowled is a monk's large, loose hood. That's a cowl. The monks wear a very loose hood which covers almost their face and their head.
Yes.
So, in other words, the divine power is working here unseen, but in a hidden manner.
Yes. Yes.
That's what is meaning. So, the ambiguous cowled celestial puissance worked, watched by the inner witnesses, moveless peace. Moveless peace is referring to the Brahmic consciousness. And from there, the witness is watching that some work is going on even in the lower vital.
Yes. And we have to look at the alliteration here.
Yeah.
Worked, watched, witness.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Watched by the witness. Okay, yeah, that's right. The alliteration. Work, but there's an enjambment between two lines. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Worked, watched by the inner witnesses.
You say it in French, huh?
Yeah.
In English, we say enjambment.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Very nice. May say it again in French.
Enjambment.
Enjambment. Okay.
Goes on to the next line. Okay. So, watched by the inner witnesses, moveless peace. Then, even on the struggling natures left below, the struggling nature, there's a struggle. He has already said, labor and fiery breath, the work going on in below. Even on the struggling nature left below, left means the light has not yet penetrated that deep.
It's the lower reaches.
Yeah, the lower reaches. Strong periods of illumination came. Sometimes the power is coming right down there also and illuminating the lower vital. Lightnings of glory after glory burnt. Experience was a tale of blaze and fire. Air rippled around the argosies of the gods. The argosies are the large ships, large merchant ships. Okay, so he's describing the air rippled around the argosies of the gods. But the gods are up there. Right? So strange riches sailed to him from the unseen. So you can see the image. The
Argosies, yeah.
are merchant ships.
Yes.
And the gods are sending down the riches from there. And because they are merchant ships, strange riches sail to him from the unseen.
Yes.
So again the image is there.
Yes, yes.
Okay? The gods are coming in their boats and bringing wealth and riches.
From the unseen.
Yeah, from the unseen.
An unseen all cap.
Yes. Splendors of insight filled the blank of thought. Blank of thought, the silent mind. Splendors of insight, the intuition is coming down into his blank thought. Knowledge spoke to the inconscient stillnesses. Even there,
Interesting.
knowledge is coming in.
Yes.
Okay. Inconscient stillnesses. Rivers poured down of bliss and luminous force. So you can see the power of the forces and the knowledge coming down. Okay, so visits of beauty, storm sweeps of delight. Delight, not just plain delight, but it's a storm. Storm sweeps of delight. Rained from the all-powerful mystery above. So everything is coming down and even touching the lower parts of the lower vital. Okay. Now this is a passage which Mother has marked for the painting. Okay. Lightnings of glory after glory burnt up to the powerful mystery above. There is a passage Mother has selected for poetry and music. Painting and music. Also the one above. Already in him was seen that task of power, and only life's lower reaches remain dim. That also is selected by Mother.
Ah,
We continue to read the next.
yes.
Yeah.
Thence stooped the eagles of omniscience. A dense veil was rent, a mighty whisper heard, repeated in the privacy of his soul. A wisdom cry from rapt transcendences sang on the mountains of an unseen world. The voices that an inner listening hears conveyed to him their prophet utterances, and flame-wrapped outbursts of the immortal word and flashes of an occult revealing light approached him from the unreachable secrecy. An inspired knowledge sat enthroned within, whose seconds illumined more than reason's years. An ictus of revealing luster fell, as if a pointing accent upon truth, and like a sky flare showing all the ground, a swift, intuitive discernment shone. One glance could separate the true and false, or raise its rapid torch fire in the dark, to check the claimants crowding through mind's gates, covered by the forged signatures of the gods, detect the magic bride in her disguise, or scan the apparent face of thought and life. Have to talk a bit about the eagles of omniscience.
Yeah, of omniscience. Thence stooped the eagles of omniscience. So, stooped, came down. Omniscience is coming down into the normal human mind. Okay.
But why are they eagles?
The eagle is a symbol,
Of the soul.
yes, of the soul,
Of the soul.
as well as the high levels, the self.
Yes.
That's why the eagle. Okay. So, a dense veil was rent, a mighty whisper heard. Now, a whisper is mighty.
Mighty.
It's not a loud one, it's a mighty one. So, tremendous importance and tremendous significance in the whisper. The knowledge is coming through in that way. Omniscience is a whisper. So, repeated in the privacy of his soul. A wisdom cry. Again, you have the same thing. The wisdom is loud. It is very,
Yes.
very, yeah. A wisdom cry. An echo of mighty whisper. Okay?
From
wisdom
rapt
cry.
transcendences.
Yeah, from rapt transcendences. Okay? Sang on the mountains of an unseen world. You're not seeing from where it is coming, it's coming down here. The voices that an inner listening hears conveyed to him their prophet utterances. Okay? So, prophet utterance. The utterance is also revealing the future. Prophet utterance. And flame-wrapped outbursts of the immortal word. Flame-wrapped outbursts of immortal word. And flashes of an occult revealing light. So, flame-wrapped, flashes, okay, all this. Flash is usually, is a lightning that's a flash. And lightning is like intuition. Srivdo says, intuition is like a lightning lighting up a particular section, a particular place. He repeats that, later on it will come very clearly.
Yeah.
He's talking of the intuition.
And when he's speaking of the intuition, before that, he says in the higher mind, illumined mind, it's not as vast a light as the intuitive mind. It's a smaller light. When you get to the intuitive mind, it's a flame burst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flame wrapped
Yeah.
outburst.
Flame wrapped outbursts of an immortal
Yes.
word, of the immortal word, and flashes of an occult revealing light approached him from the unreachable secrecy. An inspired knowledge sat enthroned within, whose seconds illumined more than reason's years. So, reason's years down below here, reason will take a long time to get knowledge. But there it can be revealed in a few seconds.
Yes. But this knowledge
Yeah.
that is sitting enthroned within Ashwapati.
Yeah.
So the knowledge is already there.
Yeah, it's already there, but now it's being revealed. Because
Yes.
the light is coming
Now-
down.
Yes, correct.
An inspired knowledge sat enthroned within, whose seconds illumined more than reason's years. An ictus of revealing luster fell. An ictus is a metrical stress in poetry. Yeah. Long, short, long, short, long, short. So ictus is a particular stress. It's a metrical stress in poetry. Okay. So an ictus of revealing luster fell. It's like a drop of light that's falling. He is mentioning in that way. Luster fell. As if a pointing accent upon truth. So he is repeating, in other words, pointing accent is a rictus.
That's the ictus. Yes.
That's it. And like a sky flare showing all the ground, a swift intuitive discernment shown. In his letters, he has clearly mentioned the nature of inspiration and intuition. Intuition is like a lightning flash revealing a certain, not the whole, just a part. So you can see that here he is repeating the same thing which is written in the letter. Like a sky flare showing all the ground, a particular piece of ground. A swift intuitive discernment shown. Now he is also talking about discernment. These are the powers of the supermind. Light, vision, hearing, intuition and discernment. These are the four powers of the supermind. He has referred to all of them. See, first of all he is saying the voices, okay, they came. Okay, hearing, listening. Conveyed to him the prophet utterances. That's a hearing, inspiration. Flame-wrapped outpours of an immortal, flashes of a occult revealing light. So that's the vision. Then he is talking about the sky flare showing all round. That's the intuition. And then he is talking of discernment. A swift intuitive discernment shown. All the four powers of the supermind are coming down from there. That is not seen, but these are coming down and revealing to him. So, one glance could separate the true and false. That is discernment. Discernment is realizing what is false and what is true. So that's what he's saying here. One glance could separate the true and false, or raise its rapid torch fire in the dark. Okay? So even in the dark, the torch fire is discernment. He knows what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
Okay. So, to check the claimants crowding through mind's gates. Now, this is interesting because in spiritual experience, often wrong forces come with a good face. Okay? So, you have to be able to discern that. I'll give you an instance of what he's saying here. Detect the magic bride in a disguise. So, the magic bride also can come to you but disguised. So, you have to recognize, and this is right, this is false. Or scan the apparent face of thought and life. The apparent face of thought and life. Okay?
Let's go back a few lines because we didn't cover one line.
Which one?
The forged,
covered.
the forged signatures of the
covered
gods.
by the forged signatures of the gods. These claimants are coming and they have forged signatures of gods and saying, I am coming to you from God. I'll give you an example, an experience which Nolida had. Then you will understand this passage.
Standing at the samadhi?
Huh? No.
When he went to the samadhi?
No, not Nolida.
Oh.
Nolida had a vision and he saw Sri Aurobindo coming to him and saying,
No, the same one.
You have heard? You have
Yeah.
heard that one?
He had gone outside his room and was standing by the samadhi
I see.
and saw Sri Aurobindo.
Yeah.
So
and
he
said,
thought,
and what did Sri Aurobindo say to him? I want to wrestle with you. And Nolida saw that there was a wound on his foot.
I have a
So
different
he
story.
knew immediately that this is not Sri Aurobindo but a hostile force.
I remember him saying, I was going to bow down before him, and I saw that the feet were cloven. And he said, had I done that, I would have been lost forever.
Yeah. That's exactly. So now you can understand these lines. Okay?
Yes.
Discernment, discrimination is the power that allows you to see that. One glance could separate the true and false, or raise its rapid torch fire in the dark to check the claimants crowding through mind's gates covered by the forged signatures of the gods. So hostile powers are coming with forged signatures of gods. And I am a god, but I am a hostile force. So Nolida could make that out.
Yes.
But because he had discernment. If discernment is not there, you will fall a victim. So that's what is meant here.
Yes, I know of many instances, even for devotees, who said, Mother told me to jump from this bridge into the water. You know the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did jump, broke his leg.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. So, we continue.
Yeah. Read the next section.
Oft inspiration with her lightning feet, a sudden messenger from the all-seeing tops, traversed the soundless corridors of his mind, bringing her rhythmic sense of hidden things. A music spoke, transcending mortal speech, as if from a golden phial of the all-bliss, a joy of light, a joy of sudden sight, a rapture of the thrilled, undying word, poured into his heart as into an empty cup, a repetition of God's first delight, creating in a young and virgin time. In a brief moment caught, a little space, all knowledge packed into great wordless thoughts, lodged in the expectant stillness of his depths, a crystal of the ultimate absolute, a portion of the inexpressible truth revealed by silence to the silent soul.
Okay. So, oft inspiration with a lightning feet. Okay. So, again, the image of inspiration. It's a sudden messenger from the all-seeing tops, from the higher planes of consciousness, traversed the soundless corridors of his mind. Soundless, the silent mind. So,
And traversed, went
it's
across.
coming through into the silent mind.
Yes.
What is coming through? Inspiration. And inspiration is what? A sudden messenger coming from there. And what is it bringing? Bringing her rhythmic sense of hidden things. So,
Beautiful.
inspiration is a messenger coming into his mind, which is silent. Okay. And what is it bringing? A rhythmic sense of hidden things. Beautiful. A music spoke. And by the way, what's her? Okay. So,
Well, her has to be, you see, we have her lightning feet
yeah.
as the first line.
Inspiration, she is the inspiration.
Yes, exactly.
So she is one bringing her rhythmic sense of hidden things. A music spoke, transcending mortal speech. Okay, mortal speech is very limited. Language is limited, but you've gone
Yes.
beyond language. Okay,
Yes.
as if from a golden phial of the all bliss. A phial is a small bottle,
Small bottle.
yeah, of perfume,
Yes,
meant usually
yes.
for perfume. So, the all bliss is there in the golden phial, a joy of light, a joy of sudden sight. Okay, suddenly you see something and it's beautiful and it gives you joy. A rapture of the thrilled, undying word, undying, eternal, poured into his heart as into an empty cup. A repetition of God's first delight, creating in a young and virgin time. This is the Ananda is compared to the Ananda that God is creating, the first creation that He does. Okay,
Which is bliss.
which is, and it is young because it's the first time, and it is also a virgin time because it has not been done before. It's the first one.
Yes.
Okay, so, virgin time. In a brief moment caught, a little space, all knowledge packed into great wordless thoughts. So, all knowledge packed. He also speaks of consciousness which is dense. So, knowledge is packed into what? Into great wordless thoughts. No thoughts that don't have.
words.
Yeah, they are not expressed in words, but it is knowledge. Lodged in the expectant stillnesses of his depths. Okay? You are expecting knowledge. A crystal of the ultimate absolute. A portion of the inexpressible truth revealed by silence to the silent soul.
Oh.
The soul is silent, and the silence is wordless thoughts, wordless knowledge is coming into his silent mind and revealing all these things, the hidden truths.
The intense creatrix in his stillness wrought. Her power fallen speechless grew more intimate. She looked upon the seen and the unforeseen. Unguessed domains she made her native field. All vision gathered into a single ray, as when the eyes stare at an invisible point, till through the intensity of one luminous spot, an apocalypse of a world of images enters into the kingdom of the seer. A great nude arm of splendor suddenly rose. It rent the gauze opaque of nescience. Her lifted fingers, keen, unthinkable tip, bared with a stab of flame the closed beyond. An eye awake in voiceless heights of trance, a mind plucking at the unimaginable, overleaping with a soul and perilous bound the high black wall hiding superconscience. She broke in with inspired speech for scythe and plundered the unknowable's vast estate.
The intense creatrix. Okay, so he is talking of the inspiration that is coming and bringing all these messages down into his silent mind. The intense creatrix, in his stillness wrought. Okay, the intense creatrix in his silent condition is working. That's what is meaning. Her wrought what? Her power, fallen speechless, grew more intimate. Okay, her is the inspiration, you can see, and also the because she is creating, na? So
Yes.
often inspiration creating in a young and virgin time. So she is the divine nature which is creating all this. The intense creatrix in her stillness wrought. Her power, fallen speechless, grew more intimate. Okay, she looked upon the seen and the unforeseen. In other words, the unforeseen also is being revealed to him. The future is being revealed to him. Okay, unguessed domains she made her native field. Unguessed domains which you never suspected before now have become known to him. All vision gathered into a single ray, as when the eyes stare at an invisible point, till through the intensity of one luminous spot, an apocalypse of a world of images enters into the kingdom of the seer. This is a technique which is used in Tantra. They concentrate on a single point, and that single point opens up. So that's what he is using here. It's called Taratak. Taratak is the concentration on a single point on a white piece of paper, just one single point. Nothing else, no flame, nothing, no design, nothing, just a point. So that's what he is referring here. As when the eyes stare at an invisible point,
yes,
intense concentration, till through the intensity of one luminous spot, an apocalypse, revelation of God, of a world of images enters into the kingdom of the seer. That one point you can enter and go into the infinite.
so the seer here is the seer.
Pardon?
The seer,
Yeah.
not capitalized seer.
No.
Seer.
The kingdom of the seer, who is seeing. Images are being revealed to the seer. The images are coming. Now, this is an interesting, he is putting it in such a way, a great nude arm of splendor suddenly rose. It rent the gauze opaque of nations. Now, gauze is opaque. Gauze is normally not opaque. It's a it's a sort of...
But it rent,
Yeah.
it tore through it.
It's a thin cloth, transparent, used for dressing wounds. That's a gauze.
Yes, that's gauze.
So, but it's opaque. So he's describing the inconscient, which is
Yeah.
opaque, but opening up, beginning to open up.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. And how is it being done? A great nude arm of splendor suddenly rose. It rent the gauze opaque of nations below. Her lifted fingers, keen, unthinkable tip. Okay? It is piercing, bared with a stab of flame, the closed beyond. So, even the inconscient is being penetrated.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. And I awake. Did you read that?
Yes, I think we went up to...
And I awake in voiceless heights of trance. So, and I and voiceless. Now that's an interesting way of putting it. Vision and hearing. Okay.
Yes.
And I awake in voiceless heights of trance, a mind plucking at the unimaginable, overleaping with a soul and perilous bound, the high black wall hiding superconscious. The inconscient, which is a high black wall, it is hiding superconscious. The superconscient is involved there, it is hiding. The superconscient, supermind is there even in the inconscient. So that's what he's saying. But now it is being revealed with a stab of light. The high black wall hiding inconscience. She broke in. Now this is a very interesting image. She broke in with inspired speech for scythe. A scythe is an instrument which you cut
The grains.
grain, okay, or corn or whatever.
Wheat, oats, anything.
It's a circular thing.
Yeah.
So it's cutting at one. She broke in. Who is the she? The great nude arm and the
Inspiration.
inspiration
Still
again.
coming.
A high block of... She broke in with inspired speech, very clearly, inspiration for scythe, and plundered the unknowable's vast estate. Okay, you read up to this point.
Up to that point,
So,
yeah. A gleaner of infinitesimal grains of truth, a sheaf binder of infinite experience, she pierced the guarded mysteries of world force, and her magic methods wrapped in 1,000 veils. Or she gathered the lost secrets dropped by time in the dust and crannies of his mounting route, mid old forsaken dreams of hastening mind and buried remnants of forgotten space. A traveler between summit and abyss, she joined the distant ends, the viewless deeps, or streaked along the roads of heaven and hell, pursuing all knowledge like a questing hound. A reporter and scribe of hidden wisdom talk, her shining minutes of celestial speech passed through the masked office of the occult mind, transmitting gave to prophet and to seer the inspired body of the mystic truth.
Again, very interesting images. So, the image is that of the inconscient revealing the secrets of, because of the inspiration coming through, and like a stab of light, it is piercing through and also cutting, and all the secrets of the inconscient revealed. In one letter to Narad, he is saying, I seem to have found the mystery of matter, because God's labor he is going on trying to find out the inconscient. And he says that I have got my Einsteinian formula for the inconscient, something like that, he said. So, this is the description that he is giving of that. He is working down there, light is coming from on top and revealing the secrets of the inconscient. So, the high black wall hiding in superconscious, that is there. She broke in. Again, she is the inspired speech. So, inspiration and revelation. She broke in with inspired speech for scythe. So, the inspired speech is now being used as a cutting tool, cutting and plundering the unknowable's vast estate. So, even that is being now revealed to him. A gleaner of infinitesimal grains of truth.
This is a very, very important line.
Yeah. Gleanings are after the harvest has been done and the threshing floor is removed, still a few grains of rice or wheat, whatever, they are lying there, and so you collect them. That's a gleaning, sort of mopping up operation, if you want.
Yeah, so, I see the ladies with their trays of straw doing this.
Yeah. So, gleaning of infinite grains of truth. And then, after you have done that, sheaf binder of infinite experience. The whole image is very clear. He is saying this scythe, you see, first of all you are cutting the grain, then you are binding the sheaves.
Yes.
And then collecting all the little grains that are left over. So the whole image is, in other words, you are knowing the whole and you are also knowing the details. That's what it's meaning.
And she's a sheaf binder of infinite experience.
Yes.
She's tying it all together.
All the experiences are revealing to the secrets of the inconscient. She pierced the guarded mysteries of world force. World force, para-prakriti, and also at the lower end also prakriti. She pierced the guarded mysteries of world force and her magic methods wrapped in 1,000 veils. The magic method that he's talking about is in nature you see the magic methods. He has given many instances many times. The work that goes on unconsciously but with purpose. Okay, he has spoken about the instinct of animals. He has spoken about the plant looking for water. Seems to be unconscious, but it is looking for water, going to the light. These are all. Also the example of the spider weaving the web so that it can catch insects. Everything seems to be absolutely with intelligence it is built. Even the birds that build their nests, they build two entrances. One is an entrance which goes, there is nothing there in the chamber, but the other part, the secret one that is there, the doorway, goes to where the little chick is there and the eggs are there. So everywhere there is intelligence working. That's what is meaning. The magic methods wrapped in 1,000 veils. Intelligence is not being seen, but it is there in nature. That's what he's saying. Okay. Or she gathered the lost secrets dropped by time. Okay. The secrets, the open knowledge which is there is coming down here and they are all hidden. The truths are hidden. Dropped by time. In time, the secrets are gone. Okay, they are lost. In the dust and crannies of the mounting root. So, when you are going up also, small things are there all the time and you have to uncover all these things hiding in the crannies.
There's a poem that Sri Aurobindo speaks about. I don't remember the authors, back in the 19th century, about a flower in the crannied wall.
Yeah.
And Sri Aurobindo says it's execrable poetry, but he has a point.
Yeah. So, and in the dust and crannies of his mounting root, this is very interesting. I once had I'm telling you something private, but I'm going and I see a hostile force. It's not a good force at all coming, but it sees a tiny crack on the ground and it disappears into it.
Wow.
So these hide in the tiniest of crannies and cracks and all they hide.
Yes.
So you have to uncover these. That's what he's saying. Okay. So in the dust and crannies, and they gather this lost secrets dropped by time in the dust and crannies of the mounting root. As you're going up, you have to meet all these things.
Yeah.
So, mid old forsaken dreams of hastening mind and buried remnants of a forgotten space. So, these are the nooks and crannies. He is using another word, buried remnants of a forgotten space. It's an echo of the nooks and crannies.
Yes.
And he is talking of mounting route. So he is now coming back to the image, a traveller between summit and abyss. She joined the distant ends, the viewless deeps. The distant ends, viewless deeps, down below and above, or streaked along the roads of heaven and hell. Sri Aurobindo is very busy with the joining the sky with the soil, the marrying the soil to the sky. So that's what he is repeating here. The other yogas don't do that, but he wants that. He wants to experience the divine at the heights and also in the depths. So you can see that viewless deeps, summit and abyss, hell and heaven. Repetition of the same idea. Pursuing all knowledge like a questing hound. Now the questing hound also is a goddess, Sarama. She is the divine hound. And the hound is one who uncovers things which are hidden.
Yes.
Dogs, we know very well that they can smell out drugs. They are used nowadays in our airports and other places. So this Sarama is the inspiration and discrimination which is capable of finding out what is hiding elsewhere.
I have a little story about a hound at the airport. They stopped me. And this little hound is coming and sniffing my bag. And she says, "May I open your bag?" And I had 20 different incense holders from the service tree. I said, "Oh." She said, "This jasmine that you've been given may have some insects in it, and we have to take it away." And I said, "Good dog, good dog." And I got away with the incense holder. So we'll stop for today.
Yes, we'll
Good.
stop here today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ranga. Namaste all. And we will see you on Monday with the Life Divine.